Manchester United 0, Manchester City 3, and City inexplicably dominate Manchester United in the Manchester derby on United's home patch. I mean, that is embarrassing from Man United. You can put it one way, you can put it another, but there's no two ways about it. To lose 3-0 to your bitter rivals on your home patch is outright embarrassing. Man City absolutely took them to the cleaners. I mean, congratulations to Man City. They were by far the better team. I thought they completely dominated this football match from start to finish. I thought Man United were good in the first 5-10 minutes and actually had a few good chances that they probably should have taken. But as the old saying goes, if you don't take your chances, you're going to get punished. And that's exactly what happened on this occasion, because as soon as Man City got their first goal, they well and truly just hit form and completely just increase their levels until Man United could not match them. I mean, that second half, it was like a training game. Literally, Man City were just running around in circles and Man United were chasing shadows. Literally chasing shadows. Let's talk through all the moments in the football match. Starting with the first goal, the penalty. Was it a penalty? In my opinion, it was very, very soft. Very soft. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I see that happen in most Premier League matches, and more often than not, it doesn't get punished. Like the amount of times I see someone pull someone's shirt or pull someone back from a set piece versus the amount of times I actually see it be given as a penalty, it's like maybe 20 to 25% of chances, if that even. So the fact it was given in the Manchester derby was really surprising, to be honest. I've seen those happen many times and not be given. But there's nothing else to say about the finish from Haaland. Unbelievable finish from the penalty spot. He scuffed it a little bit, but right into the corner. Cool as a cucumber. Slotted it home. And after that, as I said, Man United didn't really respond. I think the first half overall, they were much better than the second half. But even still, you look at the chances Man United had. At the start of the game, probably should have done better with a few chances. Rasmus Højlund got put through from Phil Foden. He potentially, if not shooting, could have gone down for a penalty. You got Scott McTominay having a flash shot at the end of the first half that he didn't quite do much from. But other than that, it was all Man City. I mean, if it wasn't for Onana, super save at the end of the first half, it would have been 2-0. And speaking of a super save, Man City had a carbon copy chance that in the second half. Exactly the same things what they had a chance in the first half to, that Onana made a brilliant save. And this time, Erling Haaland makes no mistake putting it in the back of net. But that chance right there, guys, I mean, you talk about Man City cutting you apart, and that was the case. I mean, it was intricate, beautiful football. But that was a training ground goal. Like, if you're a Man United fan watching that, you're scratching your head thinking, how have we let that in? I mean, over the course of the game, you know Man City and Man United, there's a gulf between the two teams, not only in terms of quality on the football pitch, but in terms of league position. But if you brought an alien down to earth to watch that football match, they wouldn't just think they were apart in terms of league position. They would think they were apart in terms of actual league. They would think one team's in the Premier League and one team's in the Championship. It was that far apart, the discrepancy in quality between the two sides. And that second goal basically epitomised that. You've got then Man City on the left-hand side with the ball charging at Man United. And all it is one simple overlap from Bernardo Silva. And neither McTominay nor Dalot goes with the man. Neither one. And then Bernardo Silva is free as a bird in the penalty box and he crosses it in. You got Rodri making the run in the box that diverts Johnny Evans' attention. And you've got one of the most dangerous strikers on planet Earth at the back post, Erling Haaland, to nod it home. Simple as you like. 2-0 Man City, and at that point you're thinking, I mean, it was a long day at 1-0, let alone 2-0. It's a very much going to be a hard comeback for Man United at this stage. Man City were completely wiping the floor of them. But then let's progress onwards in the game, because that was not only it. After that, you're thinking, okay, Man United, you're 2-0 down. There's still, look, that goal happened early in the second half. There's still plenty of time to respond. But they didn't. They didn't really know what to do. I mean, credit to Man City. I've always said this. Man City are genuinely one of the most annoying teams to play against when they're winning. They just pass. You can't get near them. They suck the life out of you. It's not just physically draining. It's mentally and emotionally draining. Chasing that football around for literally 10-15 minutes at a time. And when you get the few chances that you do get, which was the case with the chance that Rashford had when Kyle Walker was sleeping on the far side, you've got to take them. Because if Rashford does take that chance with 15-20 minutes left, it's a bit more of a dangerous game because Man United got the atmosphere back in the ground. But before that, let's be real, at 2-0, the atmosphere was sucked out the ground. They needed oxygen. The players on the pitch needed it as much as the fans in the crowd. And at 3-0, I mean, 3-0 once again, that was just a team that looked like the life was sucked out of them. There was a shot, I believe it was from Rodri, parried away from Onana. Every single Man United defender is static in the box. No one's moving. Erling Haaland's alive, collects the ball. He's got about, it seems like, an age to consider his options and puts on a plate for Phil Foden to roll it home. It looks like Man United had waved the white flag and given up, to be honest, at that point. And that's why I make this point, right? Before the game, were Man United the favourites? No. Man City were the favourites to win this game. But you got to put in heart. You got to put in fight. Because if they played like they did in the first 5-10 minutes throughout the whole 90 minutes, they might have won this football match. We've seen worse Man United teams beat Man City. Last year, Man United beat Man City 2-1. This year again, not good enough one bit, man. Not good enough one bit. To lose 3-0, as I mentioned before, to lose 3-0 to your bitter rivals on your home patch is just inexplicably inexcusable. Inexplicably inexcusable. That cannot happen. That cannot run. I mean, you look at the Man United legends, some of them in the studio today, Roy Keane in the studio in Sky Sports. You think he would have let that happen? You think he would have let Man United lose 3-0 to Man City on their home ground? It's one thing losing at the Etihad 3-0, but losing at Old Trafford 3-0, that's not good enough. And getting outplayed, toyed with in that second half. Man City were just toying with Man United, passing it around just for fun. It was inexplicably bad for Manchester United. But for Man City on the flip side, it was a brilliant performance and a brilliant result to match it. And for me, that's the first game I've seen Man City play this season where I genuinely thought, yeah, that's the Man City team I'm used to. Because although Man City have picked up a lot of results this season, I think a lot of people would admit that Man City have not quite reached the heights that we've seen of them from last season, especially the back end of last year, where they went on a terror run, terrorising the oppositions. This year, I think this game was the Man City we're used to. This was a complete Man City performance. Got a clean sheet, got their 3 goals, clinical in front of the goal, controlling the whole match. They sucked the life out of Old Trafford. It was a perfect Manchester City performance. And if they carry that on, boy, I mean, it's going to be a terror for the Premier League. Because look, Man City obviously have got Arsenal to contend with this season. Liverpool, Tottenham could be an outside chance. But everyone knows this. If Man City perform at Man City's best, they will win the Premier League title. They've got the best team in the Premier League in terms of actual quality of players. They've got the best manager in the Premier League. If they perform a 10 or a 9 out of 10 in most Premier League matches, they will win them, no matter the opposition. To beat Man City, you have to perform at your absolute best. You can't make any mistakes. And you got to hope that Man City make a few mistakes along the way. So it's never going to be easy performing against them. So I do say overall that Man City completely wiped the floor of Manchester United today. Man City were by far the better team. And Man City are going to be in absolute trouble to contend with this season, man. So, look, I think, let's be honest with it right now, guys, yeah? Man City has still got some tough games to play. I mean, Man United is always going to be a tough game. But they've still got to go to places like Tottenham, to Liverpool, etc. Which will be tough games for Man City. But when you look at the team they can field, even the options they play. Today it was Jack Grealish. Next game it will probably be Jeremy Doku, for example. I thought Bernardo Silva was fantastic today. In my opinion, alongside Haaland, man the match. I mean, Bernardo Silva was just like, he was a magician in midfield. Popping up here, there and everywhere. He was literally like, it was like there was 12 men on the pitch at times with Bernardo Silva in the team. Just pops up everywhere on the football pitch. I thought he was superb today, Bernardo Silva, man. I think throughout his time at Man City, especially now in terms of the players that still remain in the football club, Bernardo Silva, one of the most longest reigning players currently at Man City, and for me, he's been one of the most underrated players. Season in, season out, will never ever be given Man City's Player of the Season award, but one of the most consistent performers, and someone that he just keeps Man City ticking over. He's like a metronome in there. So good. So yeah, Man City get the 3 points, go back up to second in the Premier League table. They're going to have a rest this week because there's no game for them in the Carabao Cup as they got knocked out to Newcastle in the 3rd round. So they'll be ready to go again in their next Premier League game, which I do believe is Bournemouth at home, if I'm not mistaken. I appreciate everyone that tuned to this video. As always, I do want to apologise. So I did mean to stream after this game, but for some reason YouTube were having problems and the stream did not manage to go out to everyone. So I do apologise about that. I will be back with my next stream, hopefully in midweek, for West Ham versus Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Regardless, I'll read through all the comments between Man City and Man United, in which Man United absolutely got dropped by Man City 3-0. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in, and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Take care.